Don't worry, Clark. Our friendship will be the stuff of legend.
Somebody save me. Little walnuts, great bright. Somebody save.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with my partner in crime, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And today is a special occasion. It's Expert Novice on my birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thank you. It's actually May 14th, but depending on this video, it'll come out in June, so.
Remember to mark it on your calendars.
Yeah. So, and I decided to go introduce Chris to a favorite superhero show of mine, Smallville. The one that inspired the Arrowverse, in my opinion.
And pretty much, I think, most of the superhero shows that are on now.
Yeah. You know, they're now dwindling down in the CW.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll make it into the overview.
Sure.
Right. Smallville is an American superhero television series developed by writer and producers Alfred Gough and Miles Miller. The series is based on the DC Comics character Superman, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. The series, initially broadcast by the WB, premiered on October 16, 2001. After Smallville's fifth season, the WB and UPN merged to form the CW. The current United Broadcasting. So, you want me to go into the synopsis?
Why don't we go into
How we got introduced to Smallville?
Yeah.
Well, I heard of it when it first was coming out, but I didn't watch that many episodes. I didn't really watch any episodes, although I occasionally ran into one when I watched it on ABC Family when ABC Family was still showing it, now Freeform. And then I really fully got interested once Lois Lane came in season 4. That's when I started watching. Then I caught back up with watching the other previous seasons after that.
Me, on the other hand, I never really watched Smallville. I always knew of it, but I never really sat down to watch it. Maybe it was the fact I was kind of too young when it started out.
Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, I kind of was deterred from seeing it because some people tended to give it a bad rep.
Yeah.
You know, say that it wasn't really worth watching.
Yeah.
You know, they made it too much into that whole idea of, oh, it's Dawson Creek, but with superpowers. And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that.
Yeah.
But, hey, turns out they were wrong.
Yeah. You want me to go into the synopsis?
Sure.
Smallville follows Clark Kent in the fictional town of Smallville, Kansas, before he becomes the Man of Steel himself, Superman. The season focuses on Clark and his friends in high school and his love story with Lana Lang. And it stars Tom Welling, Kristen Krug, Michael Rosenbaum, Eric Johnson, Sam Jones III, Allison Mack, Annette O'Toole, John Snyder, and special guests and fellow Salisbury native John Glover. Yeah, so what do you think of the show?
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
This first season was pretty solid.
Yeah.
It did a good job in introducing the characters, introducing Smallville itself.
Yeah.
This was actually one of the better interpretations of how Clark came to Earth that I've seen.
Yeah.
And also, they did a good job in explaining why in God's name there's so much kryptonite.
Yep, it fell with them.
The only drawback I see and you explained this to me,
Yeah.
was the fact that we don't actually get to see a great deal of classic Superman villains.
Not until later seasons, yeah.
Yeah. But with what they did, it worked. It worked. It was a good way to start the series.
We should talk about the characters. Speaking of Superman himself, Clark Kent. Not Superman yet. Clark Kent, played by Tom Welling, in one of his first things he's actually started before he became a semi-big name for a while. What do you think of his performance early on?
He was fantastic.
Yeah,
He genuinely felt like what Clark Kent should be,
yeah,
especially a young Clark.
yeah.
And I fully understand why some people hold him in high regard.
Especially when everyone was excited about his Crisis cameo.
Which I did watch, and he was still fantastic.
Yeah, yep. And I liked his performance too. He also had the naivety of Clark being, why does everyone have to be so bad? Mainly with his friendship with Lex. Like Lex, why do you always have to be the morally gray? There's always good and bad, sort of thing.
But I think that works well with the whole idea of he's 16.
Yeah,
You know, he's young.
yeah,
There's still so much that he's, learning about the world and learning about himself, seeing as though he is a being from a completely different planet and has powers.
he just doesn't know what planet he's from yet.
Yet.
We get to that next season. And now we get to Lana Lang, a character that doesn't do much, that wasn't adapted much in the Superman mythos, unless she played a big role in Superman 3, which,
Or you read the comics.
yep, and she made an occasional guest appearance, or Superboy, the TV show, but other than that, she literally became just Lois Lane with a different name, but in this one, she's just basically the girl that Clark's pining over until he actually finds the right girl at the moment. Yeah, what do you think of her performance?
I thought it was very good. I get why Clark has a thing for her.
Yeah.
I get it. He got good taste.
Except for when it comes to her wearing a kryptonite necklace.
Yeah, that's the one drawback. Of course, the girl that he is most interested in has jewelry made out of the thing that will slowly kill him.
Or the thing that killed her parents because her parents wouldn't get out of the way in the pilot.
You see a freaking meteor coming towards you, and you decide to just stand there and look at it and not run away. Well, great. Now both of y'all blown up, and your daughter's now an orphan. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Living with her aunt. Yeah. And now we get to my favorite character, Lex Luthor, played by Michael Rosenbaum,
Yes.
who at the time only did comedy movies. He did Sorority Boys before then. I think he was also in the Urban Legend horror movie before then, along with his voice acting work, like Batman Beyond, Return to Joker.
And, of course, Justice League.
I wonder if he was doing Justice League in this at the same time. Because
I think he probably was, yeah. Being the voice of Wally West.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, Michael Rosenbaum is the best part of this whole show.
Yep. He's a complex character who doesn't want to be the villain of everyone there. He knows having the name Luthor gives him bad reputation there. Mainly because he is a controlling father who acts more like the Lex that we know.
Yeah, he's an absolute monster.
Yep. Who he doesn't want to be.
And that's what I really enjoy. That's what I've enjoyed the most about Smallville is the complex story of Lex Luthor and him trying his best not to create the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
He's trying his hardest to turn over a new leaf and try to be a better person than what his father is and what the whole idea of what the Luthor name stands for.
Yeah.
But there's always something going on that ends up pushing him more and more into becoming what he fears most.
Yeah, like investigating Clark as one. Or something with Clark's dad not liking him.
Or being involved in a murder.
Yep. Yep. And then, yep. But Michael Rosenbaum's doing pretty well for himself. Having his own podcast, Inside of You, with Michael Rosenbaum. Check that out. People, I recommend it. I've liked some of his episodes so far, so hopefully one day. But until then, we'll just get to the show. And then we get to one of the few main characters that didn't have much character development, Whitney Foreman, played by Eric Johnson. He was hardly a character. His thing was be a jerk to Clark and Lana, and that was about it.
I have to say, by the end of the season, I was okay with him.
Yeah, same here.
I still didn't necessarily like him, but I was okay with him.
Yeah.
Halfway through the first half of the season, I despised this kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like anything about him. I didn't like his face. I didn't like the fact that he was with Lana.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Clark decide that he's either going to catch a body or catch a case. Because, dear God, I'm sick and tired of this kid named Whitney.
Yeah, but when he gets beat up a lot for all the stuff he did in the pilot.
And he didn't get enough.
Yeah. And then another character that didn't get much screen story was Pete Ross, played by Sam Jones III.
Yeah, this was actually one of the first ideas of changing the race of a character,
Yeah.
but this one was done a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there still is a bit more we need that personally I need to see a Pete to get more of a general idea about him, but for the most part, I think he does a good job.
The only Pete focused episode was like Craving, basically.
Yeah, and still he didn't necessarily do too much in it.
Yeah. And then we get to Chloe Sullivan, played by Allison Mack, which we'll get to the elephant in the room in a future review, since we have 10 seasons of this. So we'll get to that infamous problem with the actress. But until then,
and probably by that time we'll finally find out what the fallout of said dilemma.
yeah. But until then, what do you think of her character?
I actually liked her.
Yeah.
She definitely was one of the more interesting characters
Yeah.
on the show. Not necessarily too keen on the whole freaking love rectangle that we end up having.
Yeah.
That then turns into a love triangle. But for the most part, yeah, I do like Chloe.
Yeah. Me too. She was good, except for when the plot decided make her the skeptic in some episodes. Like, really, you're the one interested in the wall weird, and yet you don't believe what Clark says? Maybe that's true.
You've already been through how many freaking things that have occurred that are really way out of the normal, and now you're questioning stuff? Really? Now you're questioning stuff.
And then I'm going to put just these two characters together, Martha and Jonathan Kent, with Annette O'Toole, who played the original Lana in the Superman movies. And John Snyder, the good old boy, as Jonathan Kent.
Bo Duke.
Yep. Who didn't want to do it at first. And there's also an unaired pilot that Martha Kent was played by a different actress at the time. But they didn't like her performance, so they had to go recast her again. Yeah. And they felt Annette was a better idea, and they didn't know that she was actually, she was actually in a Superman thing. And Annette said in an interview that when they cast her, they didn't know that she was Lana in Superman 3 when they cast her. So
I wonder, so would she be essentially the patient zero of actors who have been in more than one DC property and kind of create the idea of maybe bring them back for something else in the future?
Yeah, and of course she also has a badass fight scene at the end by Death by Corn.
Bruh.
One of the few times Clark doesn't save the day, she ends up saving the day.
Yeah, who would have thought Korn could be someone's undoing?
Yep. So, one of the few times Martha doesn't need saving. In this one. There. And then Jonathan Kent, he was the precursor to the Clark's relationship with Lex, as in the future, with his hatred of the Luthors. Even though he was good to Lex at times, but mainly when Lex tried to help him out by giving him money, Jonathan was like, I don't need it.
And I really like his portrayal of Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he's a bit too hard on Lex. He really is. But I understand why he's that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we've obviously seen in this first season how utterly despicable his father is.
Yeah.
Lionel Luthor.
Yeah.
So I would get why you would not be too sure about his son.
Yeah.
Even though his son has really good intentions.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I mean, Jonathan, he's an independent person. And he doesn't want to take handouts.
Yeah. And him and Martha's story was the city girl meeting the country boy love story.
Don't stop believing.
And then we get to the main evil Luthor of the story, John Glover, who, when you mention Patient Zero, I think he was more of the Patient Zero because he was the Riddler in Batman the Animated Series, and before that he was Jason Woodrow in Batman and Robin.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
before he became Lionel Luthor.
very recurring.
Yeah.
Very recurring.
Yep. Before his other DC thing also coming up. Yep. He played mainly the antagonist of Lex, mainly. Because that's mainly who he interacted with the most, was Michael Rosenbaum's Lex.
But he's not so much just the villain for Lex. He's the villain of the whole freaking town.
Yeah.
I mean, dear God, how many things did he do to utterly mess up or inconvenience people in all of Smallville?
Yeah, like refusing to take a hostage situation. And that one who would have got everyone killed.
Including his own son.
Yeah. Mainly because of his line about a level 3.
Yeah, a part of a building that he was like, yeah, why don't we just sweep this under the rug, make a wall that hides the elevator, and no one will know.
Yeah.
Yet you made this poor man go ahead and clean up this area, and he ends up developing a horrible superpower-esque condition.
Yeah. And then he fires everyone at a Luthor Corp plant just to spite Lex.
Yeah, that same Luthor Corp plant where everything bad that happened in earlier episodes happened.
Yep. Yep. Sorry by congratulating everyone. Then you're going to be let go. Yep. Yeah, good old Lionel Luthor there. Yep. And of course, well, he wasn't meant to be. He was only meant for one season, but as we'll see, he's going to be here a lot longer than just this one season.
Was it? It was definitely the performance.
Yeah.
It was definitely the performance.
And you could tell from the season finale that, yeah, he was going to be not around for the season finale. And now we should get to our score. We'll start with you.
For me, I give this an 8. I actually give this an 8.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more interested in what we see later on.
Yeah.
When we start to see more of the Superman lore being added,
Yeah.
you know, the different types of kryptonite, the villains. But with what we got in this first season to establish the groundwork was really good.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I also give it an 8 out of 10. Also, which makes us been a while since we've tied on that one. Minus the 3-way ties. Where I like the two. I like the Clark and Lex relationship on that one. Lex is essentially the Batman of Smallville at the moment. There, with his secrets and his potential contingency plans going on. You know, so you feel for him because he tries to get Clark to be honest with him about his powers, and Clark decides to be a dick to him on one of those episodes when he loses his powers. On that one.
But you understand why Clark isn't letting him know, because I mean, how do you explain this to someone and then hope that they won't tell others?
Yeah.
On top of the fact of you're just now starting to learn that, oh, I'm not of this world.
Yeah.
I'm from a completely different planet.
And in my opinion, I think Clark could have trusted Lex back in the day because of later seasons. You know, he couldn't trust Lex to buy it.
Yeah, the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Yep, spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't watched the show. But I hope you guys agreed with our scores on there. We're not done my expert novice yet because we have one more. And this time we're doing a movie. Robin Hood Men in Tights. One of my favorite Mel Brooks comedy movies.
Yeah, and one of the few I have not seen.
Yeah.
Despite the fact of who's in the film.
Carrie Elways and Dave Chappelle.
Yes, both of who I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
But yet I've never seen this movie all the way through. So this is definitely one I'm excited for.
Yeah. But I'm going to go roll us out. Oh, well, wait, before we roll us out, you guys have to go find us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page, and share, and let other people know about it. So also, and tell us what you think of it. Or being too nice to it? Do we all, or are you tired of us having the same personality, liking the same thing? You want us to have different perspectives on other things on there? Or what? Tell us what your opinion is, or if you have a different opinion on the stuff that we've focused on.
Yeah. Really make a discussion out of this. We really want to know your feedback, and please spread the word about our channel. We're slowly and steady starting to build more of an audience, but we really want to make this thing grow, and who knows, maybe actually turn this into our jobs.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I would love to do.
But now I'm gonna go roll us out.
By all
for my
means.
birthday as a birthday boy. Thank you. Come again and watch us the next episode. Thank you, and fade to black.